Have you ever felt like you're not good enough for your job, or you feel like you need to work twice as hard to be taken seriously? If you are a software engineer or you're thinking of becoming one, then this video is for you. If you're also a woman in tech, my fellow tech babes, this video is also for you. We have a lot to talk about. Let's dive into the video. Hello everyone, welcome to this channel. My name is Linda. I'm a software engineer and I am passionate about tech, personal development, and also sharing my real life experiences. Today, I want to share the challenges that we face as software engineer, and even more, the unique struggles of being a woman in this field. So grab a drink, sit back, and let's have an honest conversation. The first challenge we will be looking at is the imposter syndrome. Tech evolves so fast that even experienced engineers question themselves if they are actually good enough. Ask myself questions. I ponder, I think, I am lost in thought sometimes, thinking and wondering if I am actually good at this. Guess what? I am not alone. You are not alone, because many of us feel this same way. Yes, no one knows it all, but here is how I've been able to handle this imposter syndrome. First, I try to document my progress. That's where I am today. I document it. The things I feel like I need to learn and improve on, I also document it. Whenever I make those steps in upgrading myself, upskilling myself, I try as much as I can to document it. And the other thing is that I try to look back at my past wins and celebrate again and give myself that pat at the back that yes, I am actually doing good. Then another thing is to get a mentor. For those people that have mentors, or those that have people they look up to or see as mentors. Another thing is to go to or speak to your mentors and share with them how you feel, and also they would help you analyze your progress and tell you where you need to put in more effort, and as well remind you of your growth. Also remind you of the progress and your successes so far. So have you ever felt this way before? If yes, let me know in the comments. The second challenge will be the constant learning and burnout. Yes, the first challenge I mentioned about imposter syndrome, and then I also explained that in order for you to overcome that, you need to learn and grow. So now we also know that at the point of learning and growing, it gets to a point it becomes overwhelming, it becomes stressful, it takes a lot from you. Unlike many other careers where your school certificate or your degree you attain from school is just all what you need to excel in your career, but in the tech space, in the software engineering field, that is not just what you need. You need to get some certifications if need be, and learn some other tools and technologies in order to excel in this field. Things like you need to learn the programming language, you need to learn the different frameworks involved, and you also need to learn the cloud technologies. It is exciting to learn all of this. Truthfully, it is exciting, but at the same time, it is exhausting. Now, have you ever spent an entire weekend or an entire day trying to resolve a bug? Welcome to my world. So that is the normal life of every software engineer. My biggest tip on this particular challenge would be to take intentional breaks. I call them intentional breaks because while you're trying to resolve these issues, when you're trying to resolve these bugs, the least thing on your mind will be to step out or do something outside solving that problem. But incorporating these intentional breaks would help you ease off your mind, refresh your mind, refresh your body, and if possible, while you're relaxing or taking that break, a possible solution could pop up to you. There are times in the past where I used to code non-stop, where I tried to resolve issues non-stop. But then, ever since I started taking these intentional breaks, I have become more productive. Yes, it has helped me to deliver my tasks quickly. This brings me to the next one, which is the work-life balance struggles. I know we've all heard that once you're in tech, you have the opportunity to work remotely, or maybe you're in a company where they practice the hybrid system, meaning there are days you come into the office and there are also days you work from your home. This work-life balance that the remote working is supposed to handle, I don't think it is actually handling that, because when you are faced with cases of deadline, production issues, or you encounter bug that you need to resolve in order to meet your deadline, you find out that you spend most of your time trying to resolve these bugs, and at the end of the day you discover that you spend most of your time working than being able to balance it. Meanwhile, your life, you have not attended to anything regarding your personal life or your family. So now I would like to ask, how are you managing to balance this? Have you been able to balance your work and your life? For me, for those that watched my previous video, you'd see that I decided to go into reading, getting books and reading. So for me, in order to be able to manage my work and life, I've told myself that I need to be setting time for my own, setting time to stay off my system and maybe read those books in order to cut down my screen time and manage. So what I do now is I practice the evening no screen time. That means in the evenings I try to read 1 or 2 chapters from those books, and by that way I have reduced not just being able to manage my life and my work, but it also helps me now to manage my screen time. Note that this no screen time might not be applicable in every day of the week, because there are days where you just need to give in your commitments. Okay, so this no screen time can be maybe like I noticed that I'm able to keep it up for, like, let's say 2 to 3 times a week. Yes, so that way I'm able to, instead of getting worked up or being stressed by trying to giving my all at work, I try to also balance it or manage it by implementing the no screen times for some days in the week. Do you have any hack on this work-life balance? Because this no evening screen time, I must say that it has not really worked for as much as I want it to, because of the commitments I have. So if you have any other hack that I can use to balance this, Please do let me know in the comment section. My next point will be navigating team dynamics. Now, we all know that it's only in rare cases that as a software engineer you would be made to work on a project alone. So now, because you would always be in a team as a software engineer, you are faced with the behavior or the characters of other team members, or you're faced with the different challenges as a team. Let's take, for instance, let's say you have a toxic boss or you have a toxic teammate. How are you going to relate, or how are you going to excel in that team with this toxic boss and also a toxic teammate? You might not even have a toxic boss. You might have like a colleague or a team member whom you've had a fallout with, or whom you've had misunderstanding or disagreements with. Yes, we all don't agree all the time. Yes, so there are times where you have disagreements or misunderstanding with a team member. So let's say, for instance, this team member of yours, based on the misunderstanding, decides not to let go of this misunderstanding, and you both are in a team and you're expected to deliver a task. And if this behavior of this team member of yours makes this person not to reach out or communicate effectively with you because of the said misunderstanding, you find out that your progress in that team will be affected by that team member. That is why it's called a team. That means when there is success, the team takes the glory. When there is a failure or a downtime, the team takes the fall. So what will you do if you find yourself in a case of, let's say, a toxic boss or a toxic team member? I would say that the best approach to this, that I think I am trying, because I am not perfect, I am not there yet, I am still implementing all of this. I think the best approach to go about this is learning to adapt, and also learning when to leave things. Okay, let's say in terms of you have a toxic team member, you can learn to adapt in the sense that, mind you, this toxic trait is not, I'm not saying that you should adapt to a behavior of a team member that is going to ruin the team, or that impose threats to your health or your mental health. No, I am saying that once you notice that this said team member acts this certain way, this type of thing triggers this person, or this person reacts this way to certain things, you learn to adapt and know how best to communicate with this said team member or your team lead. Now, in terms of misunderstanding, instead of allowing issues, or instead of dwelling on a conversation or an argument that would end up jeopardizing the success of the team, you learn to, if it's a case of argument between team members about a project or something that is regarding the success of the team, you can as well relate with your team lead. Or if it is something that has to do with your team lead, bear in mind he is the team lead. So now you learn to leave that and allow the team lead handle that. A good team can either make you or break your experience. So bear that in mind. A good team can either make or break your experience as a software engineer. Now let's look at some of the challenges of being a woman in tech. The first one would be being underestimated, or sometimes you can be the only woman in the midst of men in a meeting, and then you're being looked at as someone that is not in the tech space. I will give an example. Like, I am a back-end engineer. Yes, I write back-end, and there are times I might be in the midst of guys in a meeting. I might just sit calmly listening and all of that, but most of the guys there might look at me or see me as someone who is not in the tech space, or maybe expecting me to be like in the business team, or expecting me to be into design, or expecting me to be in maybe the marketing and all of that. So they are usually shocked when I get to introduce myself that I am a software engineer and I do back end. A friend of mine had once complained that there are times when she's in a meeting with other tech guys and she might bring up an opinion or share an idea on how a task should be carried out, or how a problem should be solved, or let's say just a normal contribution, and that her contribution might not really be taken seriously. And then when a guy tries or raises that same suggestion which she had earlier raised, when the guy speaks up and says that contribution is now accepted, you see that yes, it's all easy, women in tech, but you still have to put in more effort to be seen and heard. So in cases like this, what I would usually advise when I hear this from my fellow female women in the tech space, what I would usually advise is for us as ladies, for we as ladies in the tech space, knowing fully well that it is fully dominated by guys, it is mainly dominated by guys, we should learn to speak up and speak confidently and explain, even if it requires you to give more explanation as to why you think your opinion or your suggestion or your contribution should be heard. You should put in that effort. There is no need shying away. And sometimes it's not just because they don't want to accept your opinion or your contribution. It could be that you yourself as a lady, you feel like you're not even confident enough in your solution, the solution you're proposing. You might not be speaking with that confidence, and then you will now have to draw back to your shell because you think you were not heard. But it could be that it was the approach you used in presenting that you were not sounding confident enough, you were not convincing enough. So what I would advise as a lady is to try to speak more confidently, and yes, just try to speak more confidently and document your contributions. Yes, if it means you documenting it and meeting whoever is in charge after the training or after the meeting, just to further explain your idea, that could also work. The next one will be representation and lack of role models. This particular one, it's I would see it as one of the biggest challenges faced by women in tech, because there are very few women in the tech space. It's resulted into having little or no role models in the tech space. I will give an example. I'm a back-end engineer. I write Java. So there was once a time, or still, I tend to look for and search for other ladies in tech that I could, not just ladies in tech, I searched for other ladies who do the same thing with me. That I mean the back end and also write Java. I had searched LinkedIn, I had searched different social media spaces. I've even gone on TikTok, Instagram, and all of that. I have searched on YouTube, and I couldn't get enough of what I was looking for. I wanted to see women in the tech space that have and are raising families, women in the tech space that are doing this and excelling, and that can pose or serve as role models to us that are upcoming, or to see someone you can look up to, and as a lady you tell yourself, oh, this lady was able to do this, that means I am in the right path, I can as well do this. But you find out that you have more of men. Because we have more of men in the tech space, sometimes looking up to them, you set this unnecessary limitation within yourself that this thing only a guy can actually do it better, a lady cannot do this better, because the people you're seeing that have excelled there are more of guys. So if we had a case, or if we have more women in the tech space who are excelling, and not just excelling, are putting themselves out there and helping other young ones grow, it will as well help to boost the confidence of the upcoming women in the tech space, and help them to have role models they can look up to. How was I able to, overcome this particular challenge? The first thing I did was to get into groups of women in the tech space. It's a very common group now, women in tech group. There are lots of it. The first one was the She Code Africa. I don't know if you know about it. I joined that, and I was able to see it's even the founder of the She Codes Africa is a lady, and she's doing well for herself. Currently, she has even resigned from her job. She's taking up the community fully. She's dedicating her full time in building that community presently. So these are the kind of things that we need to see more often. So one of the reasons why I even created this channel was because I had looked out and I have not seen any woman in the tech space that literally brings or shares their true life experience, or shares their real life experience as being a wife, being a mom, and being also a software engineer. What I was actually looking for, I want to see women, not just ladies, I want to see women, married women, excelling in the tech space. So that is actually a challenge. If we can have more women coming out, being in the tech space, being married, having family life. I'm not saying I know it's not all ladies that want to be married anyway, but I'm just saying the married ones that are doing well in their tech field, like let's say software engineers. I know there are different aspects of tech. I'm talking about software engineer. Yes, that's the ones that write code. Yes, if we have more of them coming out and maybe teaching and explaining how they are able to manage being a software engineer, and as well being writing codes, and as well managing family and every other thing, you see that it gives other women the confidence that they need when they are in the tech space, to know that actually it's not something they can't do. They can actually do this. We just need to make sure that the next generation, the coming generation, don't suffer what we are suffering now. I know you might think I'm just being extra. No, I'm not being extra. Yes, we are seeing a lot of women in tech communities here and there, but there are still some people that have not even seen a role model in all those people. Example, myself. Although I have seen one, but she's not based in Nigeria. She's a Nigerian, but she had relocated to her, but I've once spoken with her. At least I see that she's not just a back-end engineer, she also writes Java, and she's married with 2 kids currently. Yes, so if we see more of these people, it gives the women more confidence to, bring out or produce solutions. If you are a lady and you don't have role model, I would say you can, check among those communities. Once you are able to meet communities, once you are able to, once you are able to get into any of these communities, you can as well look for, in that community, you can look for a role model you can look up to, and try to, if need be, reach out to them and try to build virtual networks, virtual connections with these people. So despite all these challenges that I have mentioned, I still love being an engineer. I still love being a software engineer. I still love doing the back-end engineering I do. I still love writing my Java. I still love the fact that I am in the midst of these guys. The impact, the creativity, and the ability to solve real-world problems is what brings the inner fulfillment for me. Solving real-world problems. Do you know the joy that comes with knowing that this particular application or project you worked on is being used by this, that company, and then you are walking around and you're hearing people using a solution you built? Do you know the fulfillment, the inner joy, the happiness? It gives you this feeling of you are a savior. It gives you the feeling of you are a savior, So I still love being a software engineer. We just need to learn to manage and learn to balance and learn to, communicate better, and as well learn to work best as team, learn to accommodate other people, learn collaboration, how to work in unison with people, how to be patient to learn and hear from other people. Because in this journey of being a software engineer, you are not working alone. You can't even work alone. I don't think you would ever work alone. You will always be in a team. You will always have to work with people. So one thing, if not for anything, one of the things I would say I am benefiting from being a software engineer is that it gives me the ability, the privilege of providing solutions, real world solutions, and also helping me to relate more and be patient with other people. Before now I noticed that I lacked patience. I was always someone that once I have planned this is how I want it to be. This is how I want it to go. I have planned my day. I have planned how I want to execute my tasks. But when you're being placed in a team, you have no option than to learn patience. You have no option than to learn how to communicate best, at your best, communicate effectively. Now you're not just communicating, you're going to make sure that the person you're communicating to understands what you're saying. So tell me how being a software engineer is not a fun thing to do. To all the ladies in tech, do not let anything set you back or make you shy away from being the best that you can. Do not let anything take away your shine. Do not let anything discourage you. And also remember, you belong here. You belong in the tech space. You are also part of the software engineering team. Always remember, progress over perfection. If you like what you heard in this video, if you like this type of video, kindly hit the subscribe button if you haven't, or if you want me to put out content like this, let me know in the comment section. If you have other challenges you think I didn't mention, also let me know in the comment section. Drop your opinions and ideas or possible solutions to some of these challenges. If you think I didn't do justice to it, let me know in the comment section as well. I'll be in the comment section reading and also learning from you all. Thank you for now. Bye.